Hello, and welcome back to Show Up. I am here today with Jennifer Brown. Was that your first song, My Everything?
It was.
Okay.
It was my first album.
That was your first album?
Yeah.
I remember that song.
No, actually, Heaven Come Down was my first single. And then My Everything was my second.
Where did you go to the States to make these songs, or did people come to you and you recorded? Like, what was your journey? Like, how old were you when you started all this?
I was only 23 years old when I released the record.
Okay, yes.
But I had been working on the record for maybe 3 years.
Wow.
And I developed as a songwriter, so My Everything was actually my own writing, together with Anders Bagge and an American lyricist, Terry Cox. But it was the beginning of my musical journey.
Yeah.
In the public way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So.
because I remember you told me before that you did a lot of, like, you were singing with people, and there was like at one point you felt like, wow, the crowd they know my name, like they're calling for me, like, wow. And and I think that's like, yeah, we're all calling for Jennifer. But we have a little dog here, if you wonder what we're doing. It's a very cute little dog.
Her name is Hilma. There she is.
Anyway, I mean, we became friends also through music. I remember it was through Peter Swartling, who I think was your A&R at the time, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then and we just started our journey, and this was like, what, 20 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think so.
But we also had this like connection that was and is very special. I think that you are one of the people in this world that knows me the best, and I know you, and it's like a very, when, you know, we didn't see each other for a while, and then like poof, right back, which is so nice and very special to have friendships like that. I'm very happy for that. But you also have this, I mean, so you have had your music career throughout your life, but you've also been working as a coach. And which I think also, like, all this like healing, like the healing through music and healing through coaching and like listening and taking in and sharing, and so you studied for a few years, right? Yeah,
I did.
And you take clients?
I did take clients. It was part of my journey, becoming a coach and a therapist.
Yes.
And I think it was something very necessary for me and for my journey, because I needed to understand more about who I was. And just being out there in being a human being and just trying to pick up the pieces of who you are. I think it's a part of being in the concept of allowing yourself to step forward, which was, I allowed my inner piece of who I am to step forward when I went into that kind of soul searching to understand myself. Yeah. And I think that is the part that is very much wanting to be I want to say the concept of allowing yourself to be who you are, and to be able to hold that energy for other people as well. And I know when I'm being held in that, I know that I swirl. I become something more, and I feel my heart emanating, and I think that is the peace, and that I've really been searching so much for, is my heart. Being a part of who I am in concept with other people as well, and in everything that I do. I want to be merging with that part even more. So I think, but that was the beginning of really getting into that. What is that? What is it that we need? What is it that we miss? That we hold out on? And that was something that I picked it up, and I kind of started elaborating with it in different ways. And I know it's a very essential part that needs to be. If you don't have that, if you don't have soul, you don't have much.
True.
You don't have much. So when we think about that more in a practical way, we have it with us when we create. Something happens.
Yeah.
There's that magic.
Yeah. And time disappears, and yeah. It's
very important.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's also like everything goes together. I mean, if you like being able to express yourself is something that is very important to you, and to me too. And I think but being like truly like, I know you have this like, you are like this like just your home, everything is like, it's so romantic and like beautiful, and then you have this like such a loving spirit, and also like you can be very firm, like you can and you can tell me things that go straight to my heart, like you better like put your foot down here, like that's not okay, and like, you know, hold your space and put your boundaries, and I'm working on that. Boundaries is like, yep.
But that's a lifelong lesson.
Yeah.
And I've been working on that, and I still have to work with that.
Yeah.
But it's also easier when you see somebody else. It's so easy to say, well, maybe you should think about that. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should.
Right.
And I mean, you mirror me as well, because it's a type of mirroring that we need. And I mean, sometimes I just, for things that you see creatively, it's like, so, but maybe this, Jennifer, maybe this, and it's like, oh, oh, that's a good thing. But you know, you just kind of, you have your blocks and you have your blind space. So it's very, very important to have that. I think dialogue, just like that, like we're doing right now, and just to meet up and to have that, I would say sacred place almost, where we allow that to come. I think that's very, very important. And there's this that fertile soil is just like, it needs nutrition, and so that's what we're doing, and I think that's so important. Yeah. As a spiritual being, I say that's what we are. Yeah. We all have that. So I think for me it's about nurturing the spiritual, not only soul but mind as well, to keep that going, and that makes a world of a difference, I think, for my life. And it always picks me up, and it always. I'm not saying that I'm with it all the time, but I wish I were. You know, I could be with that.
And you can feel when you are. Yeah. So I think that's the thing, really. Like, you know when you're drifting away. Yeah. I mean, I do too. So then you're like, okay, and that's a good sign that we know, like, okay, gotta like steer back. Yeah. I think it's the doing that makes it really so. We have to always, like yesterday I had a day like that. It was raining, and it was really like gloomy, and I felt, I'm just going to take care of my space. I'm just going to keep on going. I'm just going to clean. I'm just going to make things, you know, shiny and beautiful. People are going to come. And I was like, And I just kept on going and going and going. And, but I know also better than, thank God for this dog. I take walks. And I have a teenager who's 18 years old. So, you know, that grounding is very important to have the grounding. Yeah. And so, I mean, there's so many things to say about that. But the dissonance, I call it dissonance, when we feel that, kind of makes me feel like I'm not in sync, I'm not aligned with that spirit. I feel it so. And sometimes I really want to just bring myself back, and it's not always so easy to do. But I have to literally sit and take the time. I have to sit with myself, and I just have to come back to presence. And when I come back to presence, that's where the shift happens. Yeah. So I think that's very, very important. Yeah. Yeah. You're very good at that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, so now you keep doing shows, you keep like singing, and you even give singing lessons.
I do.
Yeah. And I was just saying that it would be so nice to take a singing class from you. Yeah. I mean, maybe that's something I should do. It's also because everyone has such different like ways of singing, and I am, like we talked about the boundaries. Like sometimes I feel so coached into something that I might not enjoy, like there are parts of your voice that you don't enjoy, like you always try to make it so that it's like sounds pretty, you know, so you enjoy your voice. I heard John Lennon, he was like, he said he never enjoyed his voice, that he always put different, I don't know, he said that in some interview. And I love him, like he's a legend of mine. But anyway, so we all try to get get that thing out of us that we know we can find somehow, somewhere. Yeah.
I mean, it's, when it comes to, I think that's a theme throughout my life, is like the voice always carries you in some way, in life, in discussions, and in music, and I think it's interesting to see when you really allow it to be in sync with that flow part with you, what happens, and I think it's all, I think it come back to that, keep coming back to that, allowing the space to be what it is, and especially with another human being. That's when the magic appears. So it's about seeing and hearing what's there and letting that flow. And sometimes it's not always pretty. It's just what it is. Right. But it's still you, right? Right. I mean, I love that story about Michelangelo. You know, with that he brings the marble out of the sculpture out of the marble. I see. It's already there. Yeah. It's just like, you're already perfect in that sense. So it's just like taking away the layers and the shit, you know. Yeah, and here it is. And then it's all there. Yeah. And it's just beautiful. And so that's and he had the talent to bring it out. Yeah. I mean, because not everyone can do that, obviously. No. But like, not everyone can do what you do or what I do, or and we all have our different little like angles, or. But that's why we need each other. Yeah. That's why we need each other. So true. Yeah. So can you look back and feel like I'm proud of what I created? Like, are you kind to yourself? Like, can you be, this is something, you know, I would, if I were you, I would be like, wow, I did that, I did this. I would feel good about my accomplishments, and I mean, and I think we all find some little way that if we make things work with like our passion, we should just be happy and proud. Even if, I think when you start, I mean, your kind of goal changes all the time. And you know, you head one way and then you maybe bounce into a contrast, you know, like where you're like, okay, that was not so good. And felt very bad. And you bounce back, okay, this is better. And then slowly you shape into that sculpture, like you say, you know. But can you smile at what you have accomplished so far and where you're heading right now? Yeah. I think so much is accomplished in the unseen. And I have had periods of mine where I don't think in the outer world, when you look at me, God, what have I done? Nothing. And when I have those quandaries with myself, I have to understand it's just like the earth now, you know, it's spring, things are happening in the ground, and it's been in orbit over the seasons, and now it's coming to fruition and we're going to see it. So it's about the harvesting, but we always have those seeds being planted. I think there's a very important to feel the natural growth that goes on within you. Yeah. And it's not an easy thing, because we live in a world we want to see things happen just like that. But when you're so honed into spirit, like I feel that I am, like I feel that you are as well. It's for me, it's not about doing so much in the external. It's more in the internal. And I think that is something that I will also allow myself to accept. Right. So I'm not very bored with myself. I can sit with myself and have a discussion about this. It's like so busy in this head. We don't need much. We need a little nature. We need little dogs and food, some water, drinks. I mean, it's all good. It's all here, you know. Yes. So I think that is how I bounce back.
Yeah.
Because I know things gonna come, and it's I get very impatient sometimes with myself. I get so impatient.
Oh, really?
Yes, I do, very much so.
Yeah.
But hey, do a little exercise.
That's good. Well, it's been so nice. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, and let's do this again.
Yes.
And it was very nice to have a little dog here in between us. It keeps very cozy. All right.